Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mandika Fatoni Kurniawan. Here I will replace Ms. Yusnia as moderator of today's project presentation. So the third presenter today is Group 3, which is Mr. Trihandoyo and Ms. Yusnia. And today's presentation from Group 3 is about simulation of renewable energy acceleration in Bali province using low emission analysis platform or LEAP. Before we start presentation, I will reminder the rules of presentation today. The presentation will be conducted for 35 minutes ahead with time allocation. The first 25 minutes for presentation of materials and the remaining time will be used for a question and answer session. So for the participant, listen carefully and prepare your question. Mr. Triandre and Ms. Yusnia, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Without further ado, for group 2, time is yours.
Okay. Thank you for the moderator for the introduction. First of all, I would like to thank that me and my partner, Mas Trihandoyo, are delighted and it's an honor to design the final project. So our title is about simulation of renewable energy acceleration in Bali province using low emission analysis platform or LEAP software. So why we choose Bali? There are three main reasons why we choose that. The first one is the tourism. We already know that tourism in Bali is known as one of the most world famous tourist destination, and knowing that the tourist attraction in Bali, lot of them from the natural beauty, unfortunately this beauty such as the coral reefs as well as the beaches, they are like the natural beauty and the cultural heritage, such be preserved for the Bali tourist attraction. But since there's only 2%, less than 2% of the renewable energy implementation in Bali, therefore this beauty has been impacted by the pollution. So that's why it's urged for Bali to start the transition, the energy transition, from the fossil fuel to the more eco-friendly power plant. And the same goes with the second reason, which are the local environment. So this unique ecosystem has been under threat from the climate change and the pollution. And the third reason is the Indonesia's G20 legacy. As we already know that last year, Indonesia held the G20 summit in Bali. So from there, in early September, the Energy Transition Ministerial Meeting reduced few points, precisely the 9 important points that later on called as the Bali Compact. And in this Bali Compact, it is stated that all of the ministers agree to start to do the energy transition from fossil to renewable. And they hope that Bali is the pilot plant or the example of the Indonesian renewable energy implementation to the world. So how we use the forecasting process in LEAP? First of all, of course, we did analyze the problem, why we choose Bali, and how many the install capacity of it, and then we study literature to collect the data as well. And the data comes from RPCL as well as the RUET, or even comes from the research or the journal from IEFR, for example. So we use the 3 scenarios which are based on national policy, and the second scenario is based on the regional, which is Bali regional policy, and the last one is the massive renewable energy implementation scenario, which we call as zero fossil fuel. So there is no fossil fuel at all in the third scenario. And after that, we simulate the data on LEAP and we analyze why the result on LEAP like that. Then we move to the installed capacity in Bali. So we might see that the power plant that has been installed in Bali is quite few, because Bali electricity demand not only fulfill by the power plant that's been installed in Bali itself, but it is also used the electricity transmission system with Java. So they use the Java Balinese energy transmission. So that's why there are only few of them, and we can see this. This data comes from RUKTL 2019 because our base year is 2019. We can see that there were only 2 renewable energy installed in Bali, which are solar power plant and the wind power plant. But the solar power plant is there is no they only have one capacity that being installed, but they didn't generate the electricity at that time. But in 2020, the solar power plant already generate up to 8 megawatt hour. And meanwhile, for the wind, from the 0.8 megawatt, they increased in 2022 around 1 megawatt hour. But this number are still few compared to the potential of Bali itself. So that's why for the electricity demand will be explained by my partner, Mas Tri Handoyo.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Yusnia. Next, we will the slide show about the electricity demand in Bali. The figure at the left side is showed about the electricity demand in 3 scenario in Ruen, and then the last, the zero fossil fuel based on our own assumption. And this scenario from 2019 till 2050, whereas the baseline in 2019 show the demand in electricity in Bali almost same in 2019, 5,806.7 gigawatt, not thousand. And then the demand uptrend till 2050 in Ruen scenario. I think the 3 scenario almost same. At Ruen 18,160.7, and then Ruen and the zero fossil fuel 19,000 gigawatt hours. At the right side, the graph show about the demand electricity in Bali. We separate into the five brands: social, public, industry, business, and household. This figure show about in Ruen scenario, where is the big portion in business and household, whereas in 2019 the business get the percentage 49.9%. is uptrend till 2050. The percentage will be 54.7%. Next, Mbak. Okay, after we know about the demand electricity in Bali, this figure show about the electricity produced in sums of power generation that's installed in Bali. There are 10 power generation in this scenario. In Ruen scenario, the first scenario in 2019, there are 6 power generation has been existing in Bali: PLTU, PLTG, PLTD, PLTMH, PLTB, and PLTS. Is in this graph show the value of the PLTU, only PLTU have the different shape. The decrease show in 2050, whereas PLTU from the 39.9 gigahours will be decreased to 976.7 gigawatt hours. We think this decrease from scenario Ruen, the assumption Ruen, our government want to retire some of PLTU in Indonesia. Maybe this data seems like the scenario from the web. Next. Okay, is the emission from the 3 fossil fuel that has been applied in Bali. There are 3: PLTU, PLTG, and PLTD. As we know, just only PLTU have the decrease trend, downtrend in electricity output, so the emission will be in line with the electricity output. Whereas from the 0.8 million metric tons CO2 will be 0.3 million metric tons on carbon dioxide. Next, Mbak. The next is rate scenario. In the rate scenario, it still same with the RUEN scenario, where there are 6 power plant which will be applied in this scenario. But the difference from the RUEN at RUET, PLTU will be 0 at 2050 from the and the others have the increasing or uptrend. But I think is for me is a little bit anomaly. Why is PLTD in 2050 will be increased? I think with there are some news or data we got about the implement the diesel B30 right now 30, maybe the next maybe will be diesel B100, B100. I think is the scenario happen. Next, Mbak. Okay, the emission is in line with the electricity output from the 3 power generation, PLTU, PLTG. As we know, PLTU is 0 and 50, so the trend is a downtrend in the emission. But the others take the uptrend, the emission carbon dioxide. Next, Mbak. Okay, zero fossil fuel scenario is based on our assumption. We want to no fossil fuel at the end of 2050. So if we want to replace the load of the fossil fuel, so we generate the first sums of renewable energy. We add PLTP, PLTMBM, and biogas and PLTA. As we know, there are only PLTP have. I think Bali have big reserve in PLTP, but have struggle about the community. So the grade show on 3 fossil fuel in 2050 is 0, and the highest production electricity output on PLTMBM, PLTS, and the second one is PLTB. Next, Mbak. So this emission graph show about the downtrend in emission, because our target goal is to 0 fossil fuel in 2050. Okay. That's all.
Okay. So now for the conclusion, as we already explained about the scanner that we use in LEAP software, the first main conclusion is about the fossil fuel power plant replacement. That from the aside from the first scenario, the other scenario results that to change or to replace the fossil fuel power plant, like as steam and diesel or gas power plant, the most potential power plant that we can use in Bali is actually solar power plant, because it took a large share in meeting the electricity demand in Bali province. And the second conclusion is about that why Bali has the urgency to have the energy transition, because Bali electricity on mostly supply from the fossil fuel, and only less than 2% of them being fulfilled by the renewable energy sector. So since Bali is the most famous tourist destination and attraction in the world, one of it, so that's why in order to be the pilot plan or the example of the renewable energy implementation, Bali is the most probable, or the most the most potential one to be the renewable energy province, full renewable energy province in Indonesia at least. Thus, it can be applied to another province in other region of Indonesia. And the third conclusion is about the co-firing. So we can see, like from the first scenario, that it's we have a lot of obstacles to replace fossil fuel to the more eco-friendly power plant. So that's why, even though if Bali still want to have the steam or diesel or gas power plant, they still can have it, but instead of have a full steam, it might be better if they have the co-firing with biomass to replace the coal as their main resources, and use diesel power plant for solar B100. That can be meet the national demand to achieve net zero emission in 2060. So overall, since our topic is about acceleration, we can see from the graphs before that if Indonesia want to achieve net zero emission in 2060, actually Bali already can achieve this much before, like since in 2045, Bali already can achieve net zero emission. So that's all from our group that we can explain from the final project.
Thank you, Ms. Yusnia and Mr. Trihandoyo, for giving us such informative and interesting presentation. Now we will move to question and answer session, and we still have maybe around 10 minutes left. So maybe I will limit the question, maybe just 2 questions from participant. We will collect the question first, and then the presenter will answer each question in sequence. So guys, if you have a question, please raise your hand and you can ask your question through the microphone in front of the seat directly. In the fossil fuel scenario, the
goal is zero emission in 2050. What should we do to reach the goal?
Okay, anyone? Mr. Oh, okay. Mr. Ruslan, can you hear me?
Yes, I have one question.
Okay.
My question is, okay, the base year used in 2019. Then how do you forecast the following years? Meanwhile, in 2020 until 2022, there is a COVID pandemic, which might affect the electricity demand. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. For the group 2, you can answer
Second.
the question directly.
Okay, I will answer the first question from Mr. Edo. What should we do to reach the ultimate goal, zero emission in 2050? I think Bali, especially Bali, or the others, maybe the others region in Indonesia, is collaborating in all of element to reach the zero emission. From the first one, maybe Bali, especially Indonesia, should enhance the R&D, research and development, to improve some efficiency in our power generation. And then if we have the enhanced the research and development, maybe we can apply new technology like the geothermal enhanced system. We can drill or we can get geothermal in everywhere, so we can not get obstacle when to develop one of the development in the region or area have obstacle with the community. And the second, maybe decrease demand like maybe in Bali government make some policy like give some stimulate to industry to if you want build some business in Bali, they should make renewable energy based on ABT, have power plant based on ABT. And then I think the one of the opportunity for us, Indonesia just launched about the carbon trading. I think is opportunity for business in Indonesia, especially in Bali. Maybe they can change the business model to reduce the emission. I think there are three steps to reach the zero emission. Mas Edo.
Okay. The next question.
Okay. For the next question from Mas Husna, it's about how we forecast the electricity output if the base year is 2019 because there is pandemic, and yes, since Bali is the tourism island, it has the huge impact from the pandemic. So we have various formulation and modeling that we put in LEAP. So such as from 2019 to 2020, there is slightly increase, just like the RPTL and RUET explanation. But then from 2020 until 2023, there was such a decrease of the electricity demand. So that's why there's also decrease in electricity output. And you can see that in the graphs that we already showed you, from the view first of our slide, that there is such decrease and decline and incline, like the decrease from 2019 and then the increase from 2023. So how we forecast is, the main answer is we use various of formulation and modeling that we put in LEAP.
Mr. Husna, is it enough?
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you, Mbak Yusnia.
Okay. We still have 3 minutes left. Is it okay to get one more question, Mr. Triandra and Ms. Yusnia? It's okay? Okay. The last question from Mr. Iqbal. Please, you can stand up.
Thank you, Mr. Andika. Thank you, Mr. Handoyo and Ms. Yusnia. I want to ask a question. I'm very interested about the early retirement of PLTU in Bali. In the RWD scenario and the zero fossil fuel scenario, the use of fossil fuel power plants or PLTU, existing coal steam, will decrease very drastically. They will even be no longer used by 2050. What kind of ideal or the best policy can be implemented to make that happen, while the economic costs of early retirement of PLTU are very expensive. Thanks for the opportunity, Mr. Andika.
Okay,
That's my
thank you,
question.
Mr. Iqbal, and the question is about the best policy for group 2. You can answer directly,
Okay.
please.
So as we mentioned it before, that's why our title is about acceleration. It's to accelerate the net zero emission in Bali. Like in Indonesia target, they might be achieved in 2060, but in Bali, they have to achieve net zero emission in 2045, which means in order to do so, then we have to reduce the use of fossil fuel at all. So that's why we make the third scenario, which as we use all kind of various and diversity of renewable energy power plant. And what kind of the policy that we use? We read some of the documents from RUKN, and then RUEN as well, and PLN statistic. So we use from that percentage, and we try to apply that in LIP, and it generates that it should be zero in 2050 because it will be meeting the electricity projection in Bali by net zero emission in 2045. Maybe Mas Tri want
Okay,
to
may
add?
I what I did answer by Yusnia talk about the highest cost for retire the PLTU. Maybe I think we can push our government to utilize co-firing. Right now, as we know, 5%. I think 5% co-firing in maybe in 2050 we can use co-firing 100% and step by step to reach the 100% co-firing. Maybe I think to solve about the high cost to retire the steam power generation based on coal.
And again, to mention that Bali electricity demand not only be fulfilled by the power plant in Bali itself, but it's also by the electricity transmission with Java. So actually, there is only few of the steam and diesel as well as the gas that been installed in Bali. Mostly, it comes from Java. So that's why it's for us, according to our opinion, it's easier to make Bali being 100% renewable energy power plant implementation.
Okay, please enough, Mr. Iqbal, for the question. Okay, thank you. I think it's a interesting discussion, and I think the time is over. So for Q&A session, I think it's enough. I would like to say thanks again for presenter Mr. Trihandoyo and Ms. Yusnia, and all of the participant for active participant. Please give applause for group 3. Thank you.